To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You have failed this city.
So I have this thing with rolls.
Just the end of the world.
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, November 23rd, 2019. I'm Little Eddie O'Hare.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And this week we have 7 new episodes, one of which is the most penultimate of penultimate episodes I've ever seen. One of which moved chess pieces all over the board. We'll talk about it. We'll get there. In the meantime, Ed, how are you?
I'm good.
Happy pre-Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes, happy pre-Thanksgiving. Have you started? I don't know. Like when do you brine the turkey? What I
First of all, Sarah doesn't brine. Second of all, I don't deal with foods that have a cavity. Like that's not a. I did one full blown turkey once, and it was the grossest thing I've ever done, and I've never done it since. So I'm the type who shows up at the grocery store at the same time as the TV camera crew's there to do a story about panicky last-minute Thanksgiving shoppers. That's my shopping style. Like, yeah, hey, it's me again. Yep. I'll just take whatever's left on the shelves. I know it's Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I know. It's fine.
Have you ever called the Butterball hotline?
I have not. Well, I don't do the turkey. I either get like a nice compact turkey breast that you can't screw up, or honestly, and I'm going to say something that might lose us some followers, but I'm all about ham. If I could just do ham for Thanksgiving, I'd be happy. I've done that before.
Wow.
I know. Wow. Everybody's lunging to hit stop, delete on the DC TV report.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Italian friends who will make sure lasagna is on the table, and I always thought that was kind of weird. But
I don't know. I could get behind that. That's basically anything but turkey.
Okay.
How about you? Has the O'Hare household been brining and peeling yams or whatever for days?
Well, we have a huge get together at my Uncle Eddie and Aunt Karen's every year. So I believe my mom is cooking vegetables, and she usually brings dump cake for dessert. Although no, that might be Christmas Eve. I don't know. She's probably doing some kind of dessert. My mom is a very good baker. But
that sounds marvelous.
Yes.
I don't know. I've got a line on a Fireball whiskey pumpkin pie recipe that I might try. So ooh. That's where I am. I don't know. It sounds terrible to me, but like, is it two wrongs make a right? Yeah, I said it. Pumpkin pie is a wrong. All the hot takes, all the Thanksgiving hot takes here.
Yes. Hope everyone's enjoying this. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and rate and review us. All that stuff helps.
Despite the last 3 minutes.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I just realized the title of the episode is going to be Foods with Cavities.
Ew. And yet seasonally appropriate.
Yes. But if you like what you're listening and you want to be extra helpful, if you want to go the extra mile, we are part of Wicked Theory Studios, which does have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Wicked Theory, and for as little as $1 a month, or whatever you feel is appropriate, you can help us keep the lights on. Just bandwidth costs money, supplies, that kind of stuff. And there's a podcast there for you, a secret podcast that you can access called Ed Bonds with Bill, where I mean, he says force, but I introduce our executive producer, Bill Sweeney, to the James Bond franchise, one movie at a time, in a special order that I have constructed. Last week, our most recent episode was Thunderball.
I don't know how you top that with the next one, honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's the cultural apex. It's underwater battles, with spear guns and scuba divers for eons and eons and eons. And I didn't know there were that many ways to pull someone's goggles off. Yeah. Yeah. Also, that is, Bill and I both agree that is the most rapey of all of the James Bond movies. That when people talk about him as a misogynist, and they're really only talking about that movie, for the most part, because there's a scene that takes place at a health spa with a masseuse. Go see the movie, or just listen to us talk about it.
I feel like this is the reason that it's Ed Bonds with Bill and not Ed Bonds with Sarah. Because I would just shout about that forever.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't get past that.
No, nope.
We'd have to pause the movie and call in a college sociology professor.
Maybe. I mean, I kind of am a college sociology professor, but
okay,
college mass comm professor. So, anyway, hey, do you want to talk about the or not? We can.
Yeah. Let's talk about DC Comics TV. We get 7 episodes. We gotta get going. First up is Batwoman, season 1, episode 7. Tell me the truth. Kate reconnected with Julia Pennyworth as they both tracked the rifle and assassin Alice hired to murder the inventors of the coil accelerator. Sophie threatened to reveal Kate's secret to Jacob and thought back on how their time together at Rock Point ended. Jacob filed for divorce and Mary was crushed that she was losing a sister. Last minute reveal, Alice told Mouse to rest for their insane tea party.
Okay, first of all, in the immortal words of Cher Horowitz's dad in Clueless, you divorce wives, not children. So Mary's fine.
Yeah.
Is it me, or is this show remaining very good?
Yeah. I thought this was a very good episode.
Did it help with your concerns about Sophie's character?
Yes, it did. And it's funny because it broke all of the things that I've said I've not liked the show.
Yep.
Where it's like, okay, we're finally past the flashbacks and then we get a flashback heavy episode. But it's not Kate's flashbacks, it's Sophie's flashbacks. And I think the last time we did flashbacks, it was Jacob's flashbacks. So I think that helps. And yeah, I think we've that character's finally, got a chance to not just be the angry ex. I was pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah, it was good to see her perspective as well. I thought that moment where she defended Kate as they were taking down her medals and things, that was important. I think without that did a lot to bolster her character and make her more sympathetic. And now I think the person who's the clueless dummy is her husband. Poor husband.
Yeah. And and Sophie gets thrown off the trail. And when she sees Batwoman and Kate Kane in the same room, which is an old, what's funny is like, I feel like everyone's compelled to reveal their secret identity to everybody. That feels like that's what happens. And here they pull back an old trick that must go back to like the 40s or the 50s.
Oh, easily.
Yes. But still very effective. Very effective. Julia dressing up in that costume. And Sarah, what did you think of Julia Pennyworth?
I thought she was great. I don't have any allegiance to the comic versions of her. I know there was some kerfuffle about she's not, mixed race like she is in the comics. I don't know anything about that. I just know that she recognized Kate by her fighting style, which I loved. And they have an interesting backstory with fraught emotions. And frankly, that's all I need to get me on board. Oh, you have kind of a rocky history with betrayal on either or both sides. Go on. So I loved it.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought that she had a great personality. Especially because Kate Kane comes off. I mean, it's not flat, but it's stoic. You know what I mean? So anything to bring a little life to the people that she's working with. I thought that Julia was a nice added spice in there.
Yeah, and I love that Luke knew her. That was funny too.
Yeah. And Luke, I mean, you got confirmation now that Lucius Fox is dead.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think they've been doing a really good job with character development on this show and bringing everything together. Just I would like to see Kate reaching out, doing stuff to Mary for Mary a little bit more. I feel like that's kind of still very one-sided.
Well, I wonder, just like we got kind of a Sophie episode this week, are we going to get more of a Mary episode coming up? Are we going to get a flashbacky or a good Kate Mary episode? That feels to me it's time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
It's time.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't think you need to do flashbacks as much for that as just, show Mary coming to terms with the fact that her mother is a horrible person.
Yeah, that's true. I don't need flashbacks. I just think more of a Mary-centric story and then a Mary-Kate story. I didn't mean to say Mary-Kate. It's not an Olsen twin thing, but
Yeah, where's Ashley? Yeah, and the rifle was our villain of the week. I was not too impressed, but I thought he did his job. It was fine for what it was. But seeing Alice still actually has a plan. And what are we going to find at that tea party?
I don't know. There are a couple things this week that I just took no notes on, certain subplots and certain episodes, and the rifle is one of them. I have nothing in my notes. Yeah, that happened. Whatever. I thought it was interesting that Alice kept Kate from being killed. She did. Well, she now has the capacity to kill her, and she alone. I don't know. Whatever. Again, it's a thing that happened. I was way more into the rest of the episode, including feeling incredibly betrayed by that Italian restaurant.
Oh, yeah. It was funny. I had a weird reaction to it at first off, like, oh, come on, this is not realistic. But at a certain point, you realize, no, there are still jerks like that in the world.
Yeah. And I thought it was just a great juxtaposition of those two personalities, Sophie and Kate. Kate's response versus Sophie's response, and poor Sophie, married to a fella, trying to be like, no, this is not. We're fine. Everything is fine. So that was a lot of great character interplay, and I mean, after Batwoman saved that man, and then. So sad, but I am very into Kate opening a gay bar across the street.
Yes, that is very funny. Yes, that is the greatest FU, I think.
Yes,
yes, and I think really, Sarah, I think you're the best person to establish this. What's the over under on how many episodes until Tyler divorces Sophie?
I don't understand betting and over-under and things like that, but I say Tyler is around for maybe 3 more episodes generously. Is that too fast, do you think?
Wow. Okay. 3. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they've just done a pretty big turnaround, you know? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But now the crossover stuff doesn't count, obviously. Just to be clear.
Yes. Yeah. And we got and Batwoman's off next week. So I guess next episode is kind of like the mid-season finale, right?
Yeah, that's I believe how they're billing it on the CW. So
all right. Cool. Is there any...
I wonder if that means Tea Party.
Yeah. I mean, she said, man. All right. Any lingering thoughts from Batwoman? Anything you think we didn't cover?
Nope, and no news.
Nope. All right. On to Supergirl. Season 5, Episode 7, Tremors. Lena used an attack by Rama Khan, the Earthbender, as an excuse to get Kara to show her around the Fortress of Solitude. While tracking Leviathan with Brainy, Alex got hurt and realized the emotional roller coaster she was putting Kelly through. John communed with his father's spirit for advice on what to do about his brother. Last-minute reveal, healing from Lena's kryptonite poison, Kara stood in the ice, crying.
Look, the only thing I want to talk about this week is Lena facing off with Kara.
Yes.
Electric. Yeah. Also, Mitch Pileggi. We'll get to that.
I was gonna say that was. It was nice to see him do something else.
He's pivoted to more villainous roles since Skinner on the X-Files, which I think is kind of interesting. He was a bad guy in Supernatural. He only does shows that have super in the title now. So old Skinner is like villain Skinner. Young Skinner is a beautiful bald assistant to Mulder and Scully, but we're not here to talk about the X-Files as much as I might want it. Katie McGrath can bring it. And I think Melissa Benoist elevates when she's with Katie McGrath. Their stuff was just wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. I thought, that whole scene where they confront each other in the fortress and she walks out with Myriad. I thought that was really well done. That was a clinic. Great acting. And
that mic drop of "I'm not a villain and you should not have treated me like one." Damn. Good stuff.
Yeah. And that kryptonite poisoning, and the other thing that I thought was refreshing is like Lena knows that she can't kill Kara, and it's like, I'm not gonna kill you. I just need you off the board long enough for me to get this done. And I thought that was clever. That sounded like Luther, like thinking. Rather than
I loved it. Now I did think that reveal, it was a little abrupt, maybe. I just Lena walking out with Myriad felt a little casual. I don't know, that we're trying to get to that mid-season finale, right, on December 1st.
Yeah.
So they needed to get where they needed to get, and that's fine. It gave us that scene. That's all I needed.
Yeah, and the bad guy for we did mention from Leviathan is Mitch Pileggi playing Rama Khan. When I told our executive producer Bill Sweeney, who is a big X-Files fan, that he could see Mitch Pileggi playing a character named Rama Khan, I'm not gonna lie, he was a little confused.
That's fair.
Then I explained that no, he's not from Southeast Asia. He's an alien from outer space who's immortal, and basically has the power to control seismic activity.
I just don't understand how they're getting away calling him an Earthbender, because isn't that a series of? I mean, I didn't watch Avatar.
Oh no, that's an airbender.
But isn't that the same? I assumed they had Earthbenders in that scenario.
I mean,
it feels like a too close a crossover.
Yeah. I mean, it's the for. I mean, again, this is. I think this is a Legion. This is a a bad guy from the Legion of Superheroes. For all you know, he predates Avatar.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then Gamemne is played by Cara Buono, who Dr. was it Joan on Mad Men, was just in Person of Interest. Well, most recently for me on Person of Interest, because I just finished binging that. But anyway, she's delightful also, and I will be excited to see her do whatever things with tech that she's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
She kept saying technology, but I did never see any technology, so okay.
Well,
show us your technology in a later episode. Well, she masked the hideout.
Yeah. It felt kind of like American Gods to me. That whole idea.
It did. Thank you. Yes, it very much did.
Yeah,
but without the poetic violence that Brian Fuller brings to things.
Yeah, we got to learn a little bit more about Leviathan. We found out that weird old lady's name is Margot.
That's got to be a Margot Kidder nod, right?
Oh yes, it has. Yeah,
okay.
Yes. And you know what? Talking about great acting, not just Katie McGrath and Melissa Benoist, but it was very brief, but I feel like it had just as much emotional impact. Was David Harewood and Phil Lamar. When John confronted Malefic, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, it might be overacting, but it's two really great stage actors on television, and I it's this kind of thing where it was Shakespearean. It was great drama where it's like, no man, you don't understand me, and then John opens himself up, and in that moment, because of the way their powers work, that Malefic just relived his entire life there and came out of it. And they were all hugs and, hey man, I love you, man. Yeah, I got a lot out of that moment.
Bro hugs.
Yeah. And what does Malefic do now? Does he turn on Lena? Like, what's...
Well, it does seem like he maybe has come over to the good guy's side at a very opportune time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We gotta wait 2 weeks now for the follow-up to this.
Yes, we do. I also am curious if Brainy is permanently... I mean, he went into one of his hyper fast mind jump periods because he damaged one of his forehead lights. I will be curious how permanent that is.
Yeah. Is he gonna have to go back to the future to get that fixed up? Or is he gonna, turn into his great granddad and try to swallow the world whole? I don't know.
Didn't we kind of already see him go evil for just a second?
Yeah.
And they did away with it really fast. I feel like they've already played that card and they didn't play it very well.
Yeah, that was the end of last season. Yeah.
It was brief and over too soon.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking, Alex. Okay, this is another relationship that's a kind of in parallel. Are they okay, or like is because I don't feel like Alex can deliver on anything she's promising to Kelly. I feel like this is something that's going to keep happening, and they should probably break up.
No, look, I love Alex, and I want her to be happy, but I don't know. Kelly's no Maggie. I'm so sorry. I'm trying. But
first off, what you don't understand is Maggie Sawyer's soulmate is Kate Kane, and
oh my god. So it is interesting to me that now I understand a little bit more of what you mean because you've said that before.
Yes,
and I kind of get it a little more now. All right.
So yeah. Get it's funny how sometimes wires get crossed and stuff happens, but yeah. So this is interesting. I thought this is another cool storyline, but I don't know I don't know if I have faith in that relationship. We'll see. All right, did we cover anything? Is there anything missing? Did we talk enough about Mitch Pileggi?
He's awesome. I'm glad he's recurring. Yay. His costume is ridiculous. All right. We're good.
Okay. And any news for Supergirl?
Nope.
All right. On to Watchmen. Season 1, Episode 5, Little Fear of Lightning. In 1985, young Wade Tillman was tricked by a girl at the Hoboken Carnival right before the squid attacked. In the present, Wade, aka Looking Glass, went about his daily routine and made friends with a woman at his extra-dimensional support group. Wade learned from his ex-wife that the pills Angela gave him were nostalgia. Adrian Veidt catapulted himself to the surface of a moon orbiting Jupiter. Last-minute reveal, the 7th Cavalry pulled up to Wade's house, locked and loaded.
God, this show is good. Ed, we got the squid.
We got the squid.
We got to see the squid. Was it worth it? Was it everything you were hoping for?
Yes. 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 Screw you, Zack Snyder. In your face. In your face. That audiences can't handle that.
We are handling it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second equally important question, is there a Hoboken Carnival?
Oh yeah, there's gotta be something on the shore. All along the Jersey Shore, there are fairgrounds. It's basically beaches and amusement rides down there. And that might have been something that was like just set up for New Year's Eve, but I'm I've never been there. I mean, I've been to Hoboken, but I've
not recreationally.
Yeah, never been to that to that part of the pier, but I'm sure there's some, or at least in the 80s there was some equivalent of that.
Okay.
So yeah, I buy that. That makes sense. So yeah, that poor Wade. Did you see that coming a mile away?
Honestly, no. But then once they mentioned the Reflectatine, I was just like, no.
I meant that the girl was gonna...
the reveal of who. Oh yes, I watched it with my husband, and he was just like, who is this? I was like, come on, it's the Tim Blake Nelson cop. Come on.
Yeah. Oh no. I just meant that girl was gonna steal his clothes and run away.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, there were a lot of reveals in this.
Yes. Sorry, it's my fault.
I knew she was up to no, like I knew that there was some either corrupting the pure, but I didn't think it was going to be quite that malicious. Yikes. So I figured something was hinky, but that was awful. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anything else you want me to talk about being surprised about?
Yeah. Yeah. East Coast girls could be mean.
Hoboken girls, you got to watch them.
But, yeah. Young Wade, out of his elements, driving from Oklahoma all the way to New Jersey.
And then it's just permanently messed up because of it.
Yeah. Oh man, we got the squid. And yeah, in this episode, we were pretty much hanging out with Wade the whole time. Minus the Adrian Veidt stuff, but that's in every episode.
And that was great. That was a great place to spend time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this was an interesting way to where you see, kind of someone dealing with post traumatic stress and personal insecurities. That job that he has for that marketing firm, where he just basically watches focus groups and tells you whether or not they're lying. By the way, you've had calamari in New York served with lemon juice. And
I wasn't scared to be there. That commercial was insane and perfect. Michael Imperioli in that commercial.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I feel like they could run that now.
I know. But then I started wondering if all this happened and people really did, like if New York is a dead town now because nobody will come and be a tourist. Is there a Sopranos in that timeline for Michael Imperioli to be the New York? Like, is that?
Well, I mean,
do you have that East Coast mobster chic still? If New York is the ground zero for all this badness, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I went down is there a Sopranos in this timeline rabbit hole?
I think Michael Imperioli would still get acting work. He might not have. They might not have been on the Sopranos, but I think he would have hit with some other show. I mean, we got the explanation that Spielberg took Schindler's List and turned it into a movie.
Oh my god, that red coat! Oh, so good.
Yeah. Would you have gone to see Pale Horse in 1992?
100%. I would have been a little too young to fully get all of it, but yes.
I want someone to make that movie and then shove it in Martin Scorsese's face.
Is that why Marty's all mad about superhero movies these days? Maybe. Also, can we talk about how brutal the animal cloning industry is?
Yes, that was awesome. That was so cool.
That was not the AW word I was going to use. I was going to say awful.
He's a little small, so he
poor pup
goes right in the incinerator. Man, that was great. For more on that, check out my recent appearance on the Wicked Theory podcast, which I think is going to be dropping sometime later this week. I
was going to say, wait, did I miss that somehow?
No,
okay, good. I'm glad I didn't.
I think I don't know if he's dropping it Monday or maybe he dropped it today, but I'm on the second episode of Bill's reboot of that podcast. And we discuss my relationship with canines. So.
Oh God.
But yeah, so that happened. And Smiley-O's, it's a stupid idea to have a kid's cereal with no sugar. Come on. We're going all over the place here. Basically going through all of this, and he gets Wade gets the shock that the 7th Cavalry are being run by Senator Keene. And
honestly, I was shocked too. That one got me.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we see the video from Veidt to Robert Redford explaining that all of the squids was a hoax to unite humanity. I mean,
when you look at the shape of that man's life since that day and the tragedy that is, I didn't know what to make of him hanging out with his mask at home in those early episodes. That was something I was like, God, that guy has something wrong with his psyche, obviously. And then you find out it's to protect from psychic squid, whatever. It's so tragic. And then he learns all of that. This, again, show is so hard to talk about in this format because we're used to kind of riffing on the superhero stuff that's like, fun and funny. But this is a deep, sad, interesting, weird show. This was I waited as long as I could to bring it up, but this is basically a leftovers episode told in this Watchmen universe where something incomprehensibly awful has happened, and how do we as human beings deal with it? And we deal with it by wearing reflectitine under our hats hidden, and by cloning and destroying dogs that aren't perfect, and by having these secret societies and mass everywhere. And it's so good and so compelling, and I am so sad that we're halfway through the first season. It's so good.
Yeah. Yes. It's deep. It's powerful. People need to see the show.
And apparently this Sunday's episode, this week's upcoming episode is a must watch, can't miss. Tune in, folks.
Yeah, they're saying this is what breaks everything wide open. And yeah.
And I have no idea what to expect. I mean, I not even speculation that I wouldn't want to do on the podcast for fear of spoilers or wild, rampant, whatever. I truly don't know what to expect. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and it's also the kind of, I thought it was the perfect setup when he calls Angela over to his desk, and remembering that he knows that Lori bugged it, and that he couldn't have that phone call with Angela, he had to actually call her over so that she would say it to his face.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that betrayal, like, oh, that was tragic, and like, oh my God, I mean, next week is going to be brutal. We should probably talk about Adrian now.
Right. There's even that to praise.
Yes, Mr. Veidt. So yeah, he's not on Mars. He's not on Earth. He's on a moon orbiting. I think that was Jupiter. It looked more orange than red.
It's Jupiter. Which, is that a joke about Lori's last name?
Oh,
or is it?
Maybe.
I mean.
Yeah, but yeah. I wonder which moon that is, if it's like Titan or Io or any.
It's Europa.
Oh, Europa. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that was made clear in the show itself. It's just I was reading after material, and it's yeah.
Yes, yeah. I gotta get on that. On that Pdpedia. I've dipped my toe into a little bit. But yeah. I thought that was interesting. And to see that reveal. And what is he planning now? What is the game warden going to do to him? How is he going to get out of there?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I do like that he used the bodies of his clones to spell out words. That was ingenious use of your resources.
Yes. And I think the real argument that's been going around here is who put him there. Was it Dr. Manhattan? Was it Lady True? Like, what's the real story there?
See, I always kind of assumed it was Dr. Manhattan, because who else would have that power? Lady True, can she do all of that with such precision? And I guess we don't know what Lady True is capable of, but to me, this feels like Manhattan. Period. Full stop. I cannot wait to find out.
Yeah. All right. Any news for Watchmen?
Yes, kind of. Alan Moore thinks modern superhero culture is embarrassing.
Oh, he can.
It's adults trying to deny their adulthood.
Oh, he can go stuff it. I mean, he's just a cranky old man. As my grandmother would say, go shit in your hat.
Your grandmother would say that?
Oh, yes.
She's so much cooler than my grandmothers were.
Yes.
No offense to my grandmothers. They would just never.
Yeah.
I want to say to Alan Moore, who criticizes adults for clinging to their childhood by watching superhero movies and things, have you read your comic books, sir? They're for adults. What are you saying? The pirate stuff is not for children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Rorschach, not for children. Oh. Yeah. And of course, he still has the beard that birds nest in. So just Alan Moore, keep on being you.
Go get a haircut, you hippie.
As always, Alan Moore is the reincarnation of Rasputin. Prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Learn how to use a razor. Jeez. Man. All right. Next show is Black Lightning, Season 3, Episode 6, The Book of Resistance, Chapter 1, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Anissa learned she was dying and refused to tell her family. Jefferson, grief-stricken after Tavon's death, lashed out and upset Agent Odell. Tobias leaned on Lynn for info on the other metas in quarantine. Jennifer spied on Brandon to learn more about his powers. After the death of truth-teller Jones, Inspector Henderson worked to find a new voice for the Resistance. Last-minute reveal, Lynn packed a suitcase and walked out on Jefferson.
Okay, this was just a lot of people arguing with each other this week.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's so much character stuff going on that I feel like I feel like they're not making enough time for action. Like,
Oh, yes. I'm struggling a little with this season.
Yeah.
The invasion stuff isn't working for me. We don't have enough superheroics.
Yeah.
I don't like Lynn being on green light and being a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing where, like, yeah, she's acting irrationally. Well, yeah, it's probably because she's hooked on drugs.
Yeah. It does often bring tension into a marriage.
Yes.
True.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure. Oh, all right. So I had something with this episode. I feel like there was a whole act that got cut out. Because the first act ended very briefly after the funeral, where Jefferson had that conversation with the reporter, and then the very next scene, Lynn is chewing out Jefferson for going out the night before and doing something as Black Lightning. And I feel like, why didn't we see that?
Why didn't we get to see that? Was it budget? Was it time? Because I gotta say, I could have had less of people yelling at each other and more of Black Lightning being Black Lightning.
Yes. I would love to have seen him, especially like, and this is also superheroes in costume, drunk and acting stupid is kind of funny. So just to see him get all angry and break stuff, I would have wanted to see that. Also, the whole Jennifer storyline, I don't understand why she's sneaking into Brandon's house. I know they had that interaction last episode where you found out he had powers, but I feel like there needed to be some other thing to remind us of what she was doing, of who she was before that happened. I feel like that's why I feel like there's like 2 whole scenes from this show that got cut out, probably for time. But like, I'm really feeling the loss of them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The pacing was a little off. I'm still super not buying the invasion. I don't know if this is a money thing that they can't show it, but what invasion? Like,
yeah. I think part of it is like you don't know that much about the Markovians, and I think really it's just because they're trying to play up that the ASA are the real bad guys, and Agent Odell is keeping them in the dark. But I mean, Agent Odell looked like he was killed in this episode. So
mm-hmm.
I'm hoping next week we get a little bit more clarity. As to what the deal is here. I'm sure that's going to break everything wide open. So
I'm wondering if we have gotten to the episodes where the leads needed to be doing the crossover, and so that's why we missed some of that Black Lightning superhero stuff, because he was off doing that for the crossover. I felt like that with Flash, that we didn't see as much Barry Allen. Maybe this is just that some of this weirdness is the necessity of filming an epic 5-episode crossover. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but still, there were more graceful ways to handle it, I think.
Yes, yeah. The Anissa stuff, I thought that character stuff was interesting. I thought her and Grace, I thought those scenes were really good. I do think Anissa is incredibly stubborn. I don't understand why she's...
Yeah, look, if I were dying, I would be having last words with my loved ones, with my enemies, with anybody who ever, Mm-hmm. Also, completely shallow note, I want her chunky blanket. That huge chunky knit blanket looked so cuddly. Oh my God.
Yes. Yes. I also blame Gamby.
I mean, always.
You're also because you're not a health professional. You're not going to get sued for breaking HIPAA laws. Just tell. I mean, it's weird because like the right person to go to would be Lynn, but she's hooked on drugs now.
Who is a doctor?
Yeah, who is a doctor, but she's hooked on drugs right now. So I don't know how if that's actually the best option.
Also, remember when Anissa was a doctor? Remember that?
Oh yeah. Well,
wasn't she?
That's where I kind of get that where it's like I don't need to see somebody. I could treat myself. So I could kind of get that stubbornness. But yeah, she needs help. Yeah, and of course now Gamby, I think now Gamby knows that, you know, it was Painkiller. That Painkiller is much more potent now. Yeah.
I just cannot wait for the Jennifer Khalil / Painkiller interaction.
Yeah, so I like
that.
Yeah, I like where this episode was going, but I feel like the execution, you know, and the aesthetic stuff, all of the stuff around the story, you know, could have been cleaner and could have been tighter.
Sure.
Yeah. What did you think of Inspector Henderson trying to hire a radio host?
I mean, that's a thing that happened. That's where the weirdness of this occupation really hit me. Was I get what they're trying to do, but they haven't set up the stakes. They haven't shown it. I don't know. It just didn't quite work for me. But I appreciate the role of a free press in bringing people together in times like that.
Yeah. Also, I think part of it is we didn't see that much of Truth Teller Jones previously.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that, you know, if it had been like Vesper Fairchild on Batwoman, where we were hearing his broadcasts every episode, or a couple of times an episode, that like his death might have been more significant.
Hey, quick question. Was it weird to hear Vesper Fairchild moderate the Democratic debates this past week? It's a little jarring for me.
Yeah, kind of.
Usually she's criticizing Batwoman. What's happening now? She's talking to Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think of it that way.
Oh, I sure did.
That's weird.
Now I'm mad at myself for not saying that on Twitter. Dang it, Sarah.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah. I you know, if you'd added Rachel Maddow, she probably would have given that a like.
Oh, don't! You're killing me.
Maybe even a retweet.
Make me famous, Maddow.
That's uncute. I'm sure she probably got like 12 of those though. But
kind of a look. Anyway, that's Batwoman. This is Black Lightning.
So yeah. Black. Yeah. So the resistance is coming together. This is what, episode 6. So we got 2 more left. I want to see this resistance come forward, and I want to see Black Lightning fight somebody. I want to see some superhero
I just want to see him suit up, man.
Mm-hmm. You know, I want to see all 3 of them. Jefferson, Jennifer, and Anissa suit up and fight someone together. That better happen sometime in the next 2 episodes.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Please, yeah. Let's end this occupation. Let's get this over and done with. So we can move on. All right. Is there any news for Black Lightning? Are we ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
Okay. Next up is The Flash. Season 6, Episode 6, License to Elongate. Barry tagged along with Ralph to a fancy auction gala full of rich criminals. Chester P. Runk finished cooking and went to Cecile to help get his identity back and try to ask out Natalie. Nash Wells asked Allegra to use her powers to help him see through a wall of Eternium underground. Last minute reveal, Ralph was attacked by Bloodwork.
All right, I don't even know where to start with this episode. I guess I'm going to start with LOL forever at Barry running real fast at something and it failing. Oh, Barry.
Yes. And yeah. I mean, to me, this is the James Bond homage. I thought this was great. I loved Ralph wading into it. And making fun of the bad guy who was what was his name? Remington Meister. Who was obviously quoting Goldfinger the whole time.
I just think of him as Chloe's ex-husband from 24. That's just me. This was the perfect tone, wasn't it? Like, if you're going to do a spoof, make it ridiculous and fun.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's exactly the way to go.
And I'm sorry, what was the woman's name?
Oh, January Galore.
That's... It makes no sense, and yet it's perfect.
Yes, this episode was a lot of fun.
It gave us pretend drunk Barry.
Yes.
With his Price is Right rules and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. The thing I loved about this episode, and it's kind of the theme that Ralph explained to Barry at the end, is you got to see Ralph at work, and Ralph just has a very healthy concept of his dual identity, that Elongated Man and Ralph Dibny are two different people, but they both have value, and there are reasons when, and there are different situations when each of them are more appropriate. So I thought that was a really cool moment, that just because I'm not wearing a mask doesn't mean that I can't get the job done, and sometimes that it's better for me to be Ralph Dibny.
And I like that Ralph was able to teach Barry something. Barry's been his mentor all along, so it's kind of nice for Ralph to say, hey, here's a thing you might need to work on. Or, in the time remaining, or don't, whatever.
Yeah. And, and, all that was, that, Ralph has his own emblem now. And that press conference, which wasn't exactly passing the torch, but it was really just an acknowledgement that, hey, there's another hero. And it's him trying to prepare everybody for crisis. I thought this episode did exactly what it had to. Yeah.
Now, I meant to check this before we recorded, and I didn't. And if you want to give me 5 minutes, I will run and do it right now. But did they film that stuff in the same venue where they filmed Supergirl's Pulitzer party in the pilot or the premiere?
I mean, they probably
they did. I have not compared, but there was the scene where Kara gave her acceptance speech, is where they first encountered January, and then they had the theater, which is where they had the big showdown with what's her name, Midnight, in Supergirl. I'm 90% sure they filmed in the same fancy building.
Yeah. They might have. It was probably lit a little differently. And I remember a staircase being involved in that.
Yeah, it's the same place. I promise.
Yeah, it's probably. I
meant to be able to say this definitively because they're all still on my TiVo.
Yeah, I'm sure they did that, and they just dressed it up. They just dressed it up differently.
Well, did they forget that we all watch the same shows? I mean, it's not like you're watching one but not the other, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe people do. I don't know their lives.
Yeah. Some people do that. But not us.
Nope.
But yeah, and I'm sure they do that all the time. I mean, you have a great gala like that. You have 2 episodes where they both fit. Why not?
Maybe they got a 2-for-1 rental deal.
Yeah, it's the magic of television. That's the magic.
Okay, can you tell me why Chester P. Runk is still on the show?
Well, I mean, you saved him and you put him in that bottle, so you had to bring him back eventually.
To be wacky with Cecile, though?
I mean,
such a weird use.
It was weird. I thought the comedy of errors in that actually was pretty funny. And we've we saw that Cecile's powers are not exactly what they used to be. Also, I think it showed that going into private practice as a lawyer is really, really hard.
Can confirm.
Yes. I thought
but she has business cards.
I thought that was cool that we see that, she's not just like raking it in off the bat. And she was looking for different ways to help people. I thought that was cute. I thought it was fine. I didn't see any harm in that storyline. And
it just felt. Here's my thing with such a wacky A plot with the James Bond spoof, then to have kind of a wacky C plot felt weird. I think it would have fit better in a darker overall episode, maybe. But everything was so weird and light this week. It was just a very strange tone.
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah. My guess is they're grooming Chester to replace either Caitlin or Cisco. That he's going to be another member of the Star Labs team.
I mean, I like Chester. Don't get me wrong. That would be fine. I like him. I don't want to lose either of those characters. But it just, I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah. Especially like the stuff that Cisco's been going through the last 2 seasons. Like it's weird. Like I keep going back and forth of like he's in, he's out. He doesn't want to be there. I feel like at a certain point that character is just going to tap out. And it seems like Chester could be a suitable replacement.
Agreed. I didn't get the sense he's going anywhere based on off-camera news reporting, but yeah, Chester makes sense as the spiritual successor to Cisco. So we'll see.
All right, and what was Allegra and Nash. So does this mean Iris is a bad boss?
Do you have to ask?
Or is Allegra just an angsty millennial? Is she just too needy? Like, I don't know.
I think that's actually Gen Z.
Oh, okay.
I think. I could be wrong. I don't understand how they took the best Wells and paired him with the worst new addition to the show. Why would you do that? Oh no, not the new journalism intern. Oh no. Yeah, it's interesting that you have Nash Wells carrying the crisis serious story forward, but in a way that made me guaranteed not to care about it because I guess that's another character we have to. It felt a little bit like Arrow introducing the junior Arrow in season 5, was it?
Okay.
That we have these younger people coming in and we have to care about them too, and they're competing for time with all the rest of the cast. And I'm just like, I don't know. Let's just give us Nash.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be down on this episode. They're just I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but we did get to see what's behind that wall. And
True.
Yeah, and is he going to confront the Monitor next week? How's that going to work? But yeah, I thought this was fun. I have a feeling that the next couple of episodes of Flash are going to get pretty serious. So I think this was a nice reprieve before that.
Yeah. And blood work looks gross.
Yes. Yeah. Probably should get out more. Some more sun.
Exfoliate. I don't know, something.
Drink some fluids. But yeah. All right. Any news for Flash?
Yes, we have a little bit of casting news. Ifrit Dor, who is currently appearing in Mayans MC, the Sons of Anarchy spinoff, has been cast as Eve McCullough, a rich tech person who has a connection with Iris, who comes back to the city to do stuff, unannounced, unknown stuff. But I will say, she's playing a character named Eve McCullough. Evan McCullough in the comics is Mirror Master. So Lady Mirror Master, I know nothing about any of that, but that's what the article talked about.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, we've seen Mirror Master before, so maybe it's like his sister or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Multiple Mirror Masters. So there you go.
All right. Moving right along. Our next show is Arrow. Season 8, Episode 5, Prognost. Oliver brought Laurel and the kids to Russia to meet up with Anatoly and track down plans for a pulse wave generator. Diggle dragged Roy out of hiding for a plutonium smash and grab. Lila asked Laurel to stop Oliver for the monitor. Last minute reveal. After her betrayal was revealed, Lila watched John, Oliver, and Laurel get hit with tranquilizer darts.
Yeah. This was a great episode, and all of my notes are in all caps because I was feeling some feelings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're children. When Oliver looks at them, he looks at them and he sees little children and he just wants to keep them safe.
Okay.
Also, Alexi's back.
Yeah.
Oliver had to watch his daughter get beat up. He thought she might die. And I don't know what the show is doing to me. Concerned father of adult children, Oliver Queen is the most attractive Oliver Queen. All right, you say things now.
Yeah.
Also, that fighting ring is not hygienic. There was a lot of blood on the floor. So gross. All caps in my notes. Okay.
Okay.
What did you like about this episode?
All right, I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm sorry. I was not as into this episode.
Oh, no. I wasn't into the Roy Diggle stuff.
I liked Anatoly. I was glad to see him back. I just got a little frustrated. Because it's like, all right, come on, Oliver, what do you expect? Okay, they're your kids. Of course, they're going to be just as stubborn as you are. And yes, they're grown and they're trained and they can help you just as much.
When William busts out the Russian, ugh, so good.
Yeah, and you know, Yeah, I just and yeah, for the thing that really didn't work for me was the Roy and Diggle stuff. And I understand why they did it, and it kind of makes sense, but just like it felt a little too convenient to be like, oh, we need these plans and we need plutonium. And I feel like Roy tagged along a little too easily, and I feel like that storyline was just a little too simple to be dragged out over the course of the episode of them doing one B&E together.
Yeah, that goes with my trend of there were just some subplots this week that I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That happened too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the more interesting thing to me was Lila, and I'd be more interested to hear to learn more about why she's helping the Monitor. What's the real deal there, and the thing at the end, where like who shot those tranquilizers, and what's gonna happen next week. That's what I was really excited about this episode.
Can you imagine how much momentum and storytelling economy all these shows would have to have if they only had 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying we should do that with all of them, but I have so thoroughly enjoyed this season, and I think it's because there's this urgency, and also they're doing greatest hits, and I don't know. So good.
Yeah.
And the tennis training.
Yes.
And she wants to learn how to break her thumbs like her dad.
That scene was fun. And the Bratva stuff, I feel like the Bratva season was season 6, right? That was the...
It was the season I recapped for EW. I thought that was... I can't remember.
Season 6. That was the... No, I'm sorry. It was season 5. That was the...
It was the season I recapped, I was pretty sure.
Yeah. It was the Adrian Chase season.
It was the Susan Williams season.
Yes. Yeah. Notice I don't think they've referenced season 4 yet. They haven't gone back to Damien Dark, have they?
They have not, and I wonder if we're just all politely forgetting that happened. It's for the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Just trying to go back. Yeah, we got to see a little bit. That the Bratva is still alive and well. Yeah, there was a fight club called Bloodbath. I feel like there's
and they still no Capuchin.
Yeah. Yes. It's funny you were talking about how that one set in the Flash had been used in a Supergirl episode. I feel like there's one steel cage set.
Yes.
There's and it's in like half the X-Men movies whenever you want to see like Wolverine fighting somebody. And then they use it again here. And the steel cage is going to come up later in the episode too, for a different show. But
Fight clubs.
Mm-hmm. And I think, Sarah, I think you're right. I don't think they've ever cleaned it.
So gross. I guess that's part of the danger.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, was there anything more? I do like, that Mia and William are on the same page now. Okay. That's what would have been better is if you'd had Connor tag along with Diggle and Roy.
Okay. Yes, that could have been a good dynamic.
And I think the fact that Diggle had to talk all of that out with Roy.
Yeah, where was Connor this week?
They didn't want to pay the actor for the episode. That's the only thing I could figure out. He was staying back. No, I think they said that he was doing something. Maybe he was helping Curtis or something like that. But they did have some kind of like, excuse as to where he was, or he was checking on somebody. Or maybe he was going to meet up with his mom. I don't know. That would be weird. But yeah, I feel like that's one dynamic that was missing from that scene. And I think that could have added another layer to Roy's story. And I did like at the end that it was the kind of thing where it's like, hey, I'm going to stick around. I'm not going to go meet up with, my, did he and Thea get married, or were they just...
I do not know what's up with Roy and Thea. I was trying to remember that because they are clearly not together right now, like physically.
Yeah.
But I can't remember how they left things. I guess the Lazarus Pit resurrection may have changed something.
I feel like with this revelation now that like I don't have to be alone, that actually being part of a team can help curb the bloodlust, that maybe he should go and find Thea again.
I just like how much you ship those two kids.
It just like, well, it makes it, that's the spinoff I wanted, is them hunting down the League of Shadows, the League of Assassins. I think that's really the spinoff that I wanted, that they're obviously never going to give us. I would prefer that to Canaries, but just saying. All right, I've talked enough. Is there anything I'm forgetting, or anything that we haven't covered with this episode?
Oliver's delicious beard. No, there's nothing. We're good.
Okay.
There is a little bit of news.
Okay.
Just that we have a little bit more, speaking of Connor Diggle, we have more Mia and Diggle brothers love triangle to come. So apparently that's going to be a part of future episodes. I don't know, good brother, bad brother, Queen Smoke spawn in the middle. I'm into it. But the Diggle Queen dynamic, I mean, it continues to another generation, just a slightly different iteration. So cool.
All right. And we got one show left. Last episode. You ready, Sarah?
I'm ready.
All right. Titans. Season 2, penultimate episode. Faux Hawk. Despite both his dead kids and his living kids' wishes, Slade Wilson prepared to finish off Dick Grayson and the Titans for good. Hank found himself wrecking his body in cage fights to subsidize his cocaine habit. Corey and Rachel were upset after not finding Dick and decided to drive back to San Francisco. Donna and Dawn lassoed up Walter Hawn for info on Cadmus. Last minute reveal, Gar woke up with green eyes in the back of a van near a street carnival.
I don't know where to start with this. I guess we have moved everybody into place for the finale.
Yeah, it's weird because all of the Rose stuff felt like a bottle episode, but then you have all this stuff on either side of it, kind of setting up the rest of the that was all running up to the finale. So yeah, we got to see a lot of the story from Rose's point of view and find out why she wasn't in the Jericho storyline is because she's not Adeline's child. She was a child that Slade had out of wedlock, who didn't know who her real dad was until about 3 years ago.
Which was, I'm glad we got that clarification.
Yeah. And seeing him brutally train her, that training sequence was not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Malcolm Merlin was a tough trainer. Nope.
No. Yeah. And I mean, we got to see her costume, which was cool. It's an interesting variation. Slade tell her straight up, yeah, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna take your eye out. Which
how does she not regenerate that? I'm genuinely asking. Like, she regenerates. So how?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe like if you sever the nerve long enough, there's not enough left to grow back. I don't know. You're right. That does make sense.
It almost made me wonder if there was. I way overthought this. Like, does she keep something in there to keep it from happening, like as punishment to herself?
Mm-hmm.
And if you took it out, I don't know.
Or maybe that's just the one body part that doesn't grow back, because Slade is also missing an eye.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a Wilson thing. It's in their DNA. Speaking of eyes, can I tell you one of my favorite moments in this episode was Donna's lasso, the glow of that reflecting in her eyes. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. You know that was weird because we saw Donna and Dawn being badasses in the beginning of this. And then I thought that Corey Rachel scene was really poignant. Where Corey's breaking down, and then we completely abandoned them for the rest of the episode. I was really confused.
We had to get everybody moved into place for the finale. We didn't have time for that.
I don't know.
But I did turn to Jason and say, okay, so you've ordered sushi and not one but two people show up to deliver it, and they're inexplicably hot women, and you just let them inside? And he was like, oh yeah, 100%. Oh, bless your hearts, men.
Yeah. It was blindsiding. It tricked them. I don't know what to tell you.
They didn't even have to try. They were just like, "Hey, we're coming in. Is that okay? Cool." But yeah, you're right. We did kind of drop them after those initial scenes. I'm glad we got them. I enjoyed them both, but
yeah, and it's and I guess you know, and they're going after Gar now, and like Gar, like I don't know what.
Turning Gar into a killing machine is the most upsetting part of this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird because like we felt like he's had absolutely nothing to do this season, and then in the last 2 episodes, it's been freaky.
The worst thing that could happen to the character.
You know, or the best, because you know, if they make it out of this, you know, seeing him try to live with himself, that's.
I mean, best for us as the audience, like worst for that kid's psyche.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, if they're doing that with Gar, I don't even want to know what they're doing with Connor.
I'm concerned that we're going to have a finale Connor reveal where Connor is evil. I do not know if that happens at any point in any other iterations with Superboy, but I am concerned that he's going to be an unstoppable evil killing machine because of what Cadmus did to him.
Yeah. There have been some storylines like that, in the comics. But yeah. So that's what's going on there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've put off talking about my favorite Hank long enough. I really hoped at the end of last week that he asked about like where the drug dealer's at, because he was gonna do his Hawk thing and like bring justice and safety to the community. But no, he just wanted cocaine.
Yeah.
I was super disappointed.
Yeah. That whole storyline, man. So yeah,
it is a depressing. That felt kind of Watchmen-ish in that if you're a mask and you don't have your ideals anymore, what do you do with yourself? Well, I guess you fight people for drug money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pick up women.
Grim. It was grim.
Pick up women in parking lots for a not so fun night.
She was so disappointed. Which lady? Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then black out and realize you sold your costume to a drug dealer.
A dumb one.
Yes. Really dumb.
And boy, that poor kid. Well, my mom's boyfriend doesn't like me and they rent by the week. I thought maybe Hank would try to help him, but no, he was just like, give me back my suit. Poor kid.
Well, you know, he said he'd pay him the $200 back, you know, so
feels like not a long-term solution.
You know, I mean, that's the hard part about being a superhero and not being rich, because you can't hire that guy to be like, you know, the guy with the computers.
Yeah.
You can't hire him to be like your valet or something.
He's not going to be your Alfred. Sorry.
No. Yeah. So yeah, we got next week is the finale of Titans season 2. We do know there will be a season 3.
And it looks like Dick is going to have a new set of threads to show off his circus skills.
Yes, we got this. Yeah. We got to see him go to Stu Shoes to pick up a new pair. And that costume, man. Oh, it's exciting. Yeah, and I guess this is kind of slipping into news, but you know, they've shown off pics of that new costume, and yeah, I'm impressed. I'm happy. I can't wait. The next episode's called Nightwing, so okay, it's finally happening.
They're not really leaving it a surprise. Yeah, I loved the secret suit manufacturing company. That was great. I have enjoyed this season. This I think they found a better balance than last season, and there have been times I think they haven't used some characters as well as they could have, but overall, highly enjoyable.
Yes. All right. Is there anything else any other news for Titans, or
no? You nailed it. It was just the suit. So
okay.
That's
really all right. So now it's time for news for other shows.
Yeah, so let's talk about the crossover. There's a bunch of chatter about the crossover because it's coming December 8th. It kicks off. A lot of photos have been released. The most important one, I think, for certain segments of the internet is Kevin Conroy on set in costume, face and voice coming together.
Not only that, but the pic that they showed, he's in this like metal rig, which is very, very reminiscent of kind of like the get up that Bruce Wayne has to wear in Kingdom Come. So I think I think people are pretty sure that he's Kingdom Come Batman. So
well, and speaking of Kingdom Come, we definitely got Kingdom Come Superman.
Yes, we did.
Brandon Routh with that nice silver at his temples in the suit. I'll be in my bunk. You've got Tom Welling back on set. Here's my question. Do we get to see Tom Welling in the suit? Because they have not released any photos of that. And we've seen the other Supermen in their suits. So are we going to get Welling?
I think you have to. I think there has to be one moment where you see like all of the Supermen, fly together. And
I don't know how to moderate my enthusiasm on this, but if Tom Welling doesn't get to wear a Superman suit, what are we even doing?
Yeah.
Like, that was the point of Smallville, was you don't get to see him in the suit. It's 2019. Put Welling in the suit.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, that's just a lot of fun. There's you got synopses out for the first 3 episodes. I just really want to enjoy it. I'm kind of trying to let it all roll off my back as much as I can so I can just dive in. One thing I thought was kind of interesting, Alan Ritchson, who plays Hank in Titans, who played Arthur Curry in Smallville, was asked to recur as Arthur Curry / Aquaman in the crossover, but he couldn't make it work because of his schedule. I don't know if it's the Titans schedule or if he's doing something else, but we could have had Hawk from Titans as Aquaman in the crossover because that's what he was on the CW, but it just didn't work out.
Oh.
Sadness. I know. I would love to have seen him like that, but until then, we'll have him walking around in his underwear in Titans.
All right.
Moving on to Stargirl.
Stargirl.
Oh,
music.
hey. Stargirl's coming to the CW.
What?
I know. This was a rumor that went around a couple weeks ago, and DC Universe knocked it down pretty quickly. That's not going to happen. Turns out it's going to happen. Business Insider says the day after Stargirl airs on the DC Universe, it will air on the CW. And after that, it will stream on CW.com. I assume Stargirl is going to be Friday because all their shows are Friday on DC Universe. So it's going to air on Saturday on the CW, I guess.
I mean,
and then
yeah,
that's not great for DC Universe.
No.
Long-term survival.
No. I think this is just another thing. DC Universe's days are numbered. Which is yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like we're not really going to get any clarity on this until after HBO Max launches in May. But yeah, this is none of this seems good for DC Universe. I'm glad more people are going to be able to see Stargirl. And to be the real killer isn't even that it's airing on the CW; it's that it's going to be available streaming. Yeah, for CW, which is free. Which means they don't have enough confidence in the paid subscribers on DC Universe.
It also kind of tells you about the tone of the show. You couldn't put Titans on the CW. You just couldn't.
No.
But Stargirl, apparently you could. So that's something too. Oh, also, Ed, I forgot to tell you this off air when we were reviewing this. Apparently, she's also going to be briefly introduced in the crossover.
Yes, I did read that as
well. So
we're
going to meet Stargirl / Courtney Whitmire, possibly in the crossover, which, you know what, if she's going to be on the CW, makes sense. But that means they've been planning it for a while, and they totally lied when they were asked about these CW reports earlier. So we see you, DC Universe. We see you. But I guess my big question is, will they give us a break on our DC Max subscription when our annual DC Universe subscription goes away?
Ooh, all right. Yeah. We'll work. Yeah, we'll figure that out when it happens. All right.
Moving on to Lucifer. Lauren German, in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, says at the start of the new season, Chloe is heartbroken at having lost Lucifer and she is partying with Maze. Lots of drinking, lots of shenanigans. Maze is working as a bounty hunter for the police department. So I don't think Chloe's going to be in a very good place.
Oh, it's sad. Poor Chloe.
It is. I mean, I'm glad she feels his loss. It's good that it means that she cares. But, I don't know. Partying Chloe sounds interesting, though. That's a different kind of thing.
Yeah. And like the couple of times where she's gotten drunk and have fun, and she does her Tom Ellis impression.
I'm a fancy British man.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most fun Chloe scenes, yes. I think.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Still no word on when that's dropping, right?
No.
All right.
They usually do give us notice, though. It's not one of those that they usually just drop unannounced like they do sometimes with other shows. So I suspect we'll get a heads up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. Usually they'll give us that like a month ahead of time. So.
Yeah. Moving on to Why
music.
FX. They are casting a new character, new to the show, not in the comic, named Sam, who is a transgender female to male character. This is really interesting to me because it indicates that this is set in 2019, 2020. It is not looking at gender as it could go a couple ways. If you're saying that when you transition to male, you're still female, that would be probably reductive and harmful. So it depends on how they're going to handle it. I am hoping they have sensitivity and awareness of the issues, and that this will be really great and thought-provoking.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that they, Brian K. Vaughan didn't. I don't know if he didn't have time for it or didn't really address in the comic. I think it's interesting. There's an easy way around this because the way that virus worked, I believe, is that it killed off every mammal with a Y chromosome. So, obviously, if you're born a woman, then you have two X chromosomes. So even if you transition, that wouldn't change. So I think that's the fix and the way to explain that if it's a female to male transgender.
And it's going to be fascinating. Yeah, I'm really curious. I am really looking forward to this show premiering. I am really looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
Yeah,
especially with updating and kind of bringing it into the 21st century in a cool, interesting way.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I'm wondering how much they've retooled it since that pilot that they shot.
Yeah. Yes. Same, because they do have the new showrunner, and we'll see. Is it that's the show that Charlie Jane Andrews is writing for, isn't it?
Yes.
I want to, because she transitioned. I think. Oh gosh, I'm 98% sure of that. So I feel like we're in good hands with the writers' room there. So yay, good stuff. Bring it on. Last news of the week. Ed, are you ready?
Yeah.
I've got news for Swamp Thing. Not that news. Not the good news you're hoping for. Sorry. Everybody temper your expectations. But writer Gary Dalberman gave an interview with comicbook.com and talked about what might have been with season 2. And he said season 1 was about introducing us to the swamp and Swamp Thing, and this is this character, here's what he does. Season 2 would have gone deep with those weird, gross, twisted horror stories from later comics.
Okay.
And I'm sad, as always, that we didn't get to see that.
Yeah. Oh man. There was so much potential there.
I know.
Yeah.
I just look, if DC Universe is folding and HBO Max is rising, Come on,
HBO Max.
Swamp Thing back?
Come on. This is right up your
alley.
Save
the swamp.
Save Swamp Thing. Renew Swamp Thing, please. All right. And that's all the news for this week, right?
Correct.
All right, on to our winners of the week. I'll go first.
Okay.
So this wasn't in every episode, but I feel like it was prevalent and enough that we can talk about it, which is drugs. And,
for kids.
Yeah. I mean, you had Watchmen, obviously. Nostalgia was something that came up. On Black Lightning, you had Lynn, who's addicted to green light, or whatever her, altered version of green light is. And on Titans, you had Hank doing stupid things to get cocaine. So I think drugs ran all through this week's episodes.
Well, funny. My winner of the week is also something that ran through not all the episodes, but enough that I feel justified in bringing it up, and that is tearful, heartfelt speeches.
Oh.
I feel like Batwoman gave us some good tearful Sophie moment. We finally got to see what's going on sort of in her heart.
Mm-hmm.
Supergirl, you had that Lena confrontation with Kara that was a lot of fighting through repressed tears.
Mm-hmm.
And Arrow, Oliver was just soggy the whole episode trying to keep his kids safe. It was great. It was great character work. I thought it was great for drama and taking kind of a slow beat in otherwise active shows. Tearful, heartfelt speeches did it for me this week.
All right. Those are your winners for the week.
Yep.
Sarah, we finished an episode.
I think this one went a little long.
Yeah. And
sorry, everybody.
Yeah, and sort of good news is that because Supergirl and Supergirl and Batwoman are taking off next week, and it's the Titans finale, this was the last time we're going to do 7 in 1 week for a little while.
I don't know about you. I'm looking forward to the break.
Yeah. I mean, we still might have 6 in a couple weeks, but this 7 marathon. Yeah. There's oh my god, I'm looking at HBO Max's slot and I'm just like, oh man, all this stuff coming.
We're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it, right?
Oh man, this is fun. But thank you for listening. Thanks everybody.
Hey, we're grateful for you this Thanksgiving week.
Yes, yeah. Enjoy your turkey, your stuffing,
or your ham, if that's how you roll.
Yeah. Someone's gonna bring green bean casserole. Maybe lasagna if you're Italian. I don't know. But that's the DCTV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Little Eddie O'Hare.
I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
Follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister show, The Wicked Theory Podcast, which is new and improved. And I'm the guest in the second episode.
So it's super improved.
Yes.
Heyo.
This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam.